Remastered, The Angel of Darkness is an action-adventure game developed by Core Design and published by Eidos Interactive and released on the PlayStation 2 and PC in 2003. We'll be focusing on the PS2 version today.
You know, I never thought we'd cross paths with the Tomb Raider series on this show. Lots of folks seem to really love those games. I wonder what's so terrible about this one.
This one? Oh, buddy, sorry to tell you this, but we're not just talking about one game today.
We're not?
No! To properly examine the game in its totality, we need to explore its many questionable flavors. You can get it scooped up 3 ways.
3 ways?
Yep. While The Angel of Darkness landed on the PS2 in 2003, fans were introduced to an all-new updated version developed by Aspyr, included in the Tomb Raider 4, 5, 6 Remastered collection, which was released in 2025.
So we're playing the original version and the remaster at the same time? That's a lot of game to play. Wait. You said 3 flavors. What the heck is the third?
The third selection in the gnarly Neapolitan trifecta? In 2006, a few years after the release of the original game, we got an interactive DVD.
Lara Croft for everyone.
An interactive DVD? Like a game made for DVD players?
No games console needed, just your normal DVD.
You sound surprised, but DVD players weren't strangers to gaming. There were quiz shows, full-motion video experiences, and Vinnie Jones Gone to the Dogs dog racing for you and your mates at home, which is also apparently a game. Games! There were a bunch of them.
But Angel of Darkness? That's supposed to be a 3D platforming adventure. How can you play that with this?
I don't know.
We're being really thorough with this game. Usually we just pick the worst version and play that. We don't play all of them.
Well, buddy, I think you'd agree with me that the last title in a series deserves an in-depth examination to see what went wrong. A video game post-mortem, if you will.
But this isn't the last Tomb Raider game. The franchise continued well after 2003.
Yes and no, because this game is the final adventure in the original continuing narrative of the legendary Lara Croft. You see, after Angel of Darkness, the series saw a total reboot.
You'll be seeing more of me soon on Xbox 360 and Xbox.
So, after this game, we're not dealing with the same Lara Croft?
Exactly, which was a big deal. For some in the 90s, the original version of the character was as impactful as Super Mario was. We absolutely need to understand why Angel of Darkness capped her initial run.
This all started with Lara Croft's first adventure, Tomb Raider, a title that originally landed smack dab in 1996, just as 3D visual gaming was building to the prominence we know it for today.
Lara was introduced to us as a very intelligent and capable protagonist who ventured deep into ancient, unexplored worlds. Each level felt real, like true aged ruins biding their time to reveal rich and deadly secrets. It was like nothing we'd seen before.
In fact, the first Tomb Raider title proved so popular that Core Design released yearly installments of the franchise. We got 5 Tomb Raider games in a row! 5! That wasn't a common release rate back then, and it lasted until the year 2000 when they took a big multi-year break to hunker down and design the very game we're talking about today.
The Angel of Darkness. So how did this become the final journey for the original rendition of Miss Croft? Well, we're gonna have to dust off the hieroglyphs on this relic and find out.
It's time to get strapped with twin infinite ammo gats and prepare for wild ancient wonders as we exhume Tomb Raider, the Angel of Darkness.
Right out the gate, we've got an opening cutscene. Lara's being asked a pretty big favor from some random old guy?
Help me, Lara. I need you to get something for me. I'm tracking 5 obscura paintings for a client called Eckhardt, but he's a psychopath. People are dying out there.
Handle it, Werner.
Lara, please.
Eat it, Werner. You walked away and left me.
Get out!
Good heavens! Werner's dead!
Oh no! Who exactly is, or was, Werner?
Well, that would be Werner von Croy, a character introduced in Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, the 4th game in the series. He was Lara's childhood mentor that taught her the Tomb Raiden ropes.
Judging from this conversation, seems like they had a pretty rocky relationship.
Oh, you better believe they did, which fills my head with lots of questions, because last we saw these two characters together, Werner failed to rescue Lara in time. Lara was seemingly crushed to death by rocks.
Oh, yeah, I see. Wait, death?
No time to get into that now, though. Lara's on the lam. The police are on her trail. They think she's responsible for Werner's murder.
They release the hounds. The dogs chase Lara through some streets and buildings and...
No idea how Cujo removed Lara's secured pack in the split second that she was facing them. But let's not dwell on that stupid for too long. Lara's lost her gear.
And all that excitement seems to bring us to gameplay proper, which, by the look of this load screen, takes place in Paris, France. Ooh la la.
To move around, use the left analog stick. Push forward gently to walk, and all the way forward to run.
Alrighty. This is incredible. I can't easily control when Lara is walking and when she's jogging. There is no consistent control of her pace. That's a serious problem.
Basic movement feels like it requires a lot of exact character placement and forethought.
The tutorial tells you to do a thing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Seems like you got about a 50-50 chance. It's real rough, people. Somehow, she is controlling worse than in any of the previous 5 games. Those titles all used what we call tank controls, because when the original Tomb Raider came out, analog inputs were not standard on any of the supported platforms. So Lara's movement had to be designed with the D-pad or keyboard in mind.
This means Lara's movement felt very rigid and stiff. It was slow and cumbersome, and this carried through every game, including this masterpiece we're playing now. But the PS2 controllers had thummies day one. No excuses.
At least, not from a hardware perspective.
And yet still, we have this. Not quite tank controls, but a Lara that is slow to move. A Lara who kinda lurches and lumbers when you need her to switch from one action to another. Want to climb something? Well, you need to walk over to what you want to climb, stop moving for a second, then push toward the thing you want to climb with the analog stick.
Want to jump a gap and grab a ledge? Walk to the end of your platform, stop, then push forward and jump together. But remember to press the action button midair, or else...
This game controls like an ancient first-generation 3D polygonal game. But by this time,
even the publisher of this very game had already figured this out. They released Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, which has many of the functions that Lara has, but controls way easier.
And there was a version of that released on the PlayStation 1. We've taken the tiniest baby steps into gameplay, and look at this.
We've got Lara floating and slipping her way down a staircase like her shoes are all greased up.
We got weird shadows that don't seem to be projecting properly at all.
Want to get out of the rain? Don't bother doing it here. Apparently weather clips through solid matter in France. Mon Dieu, we never knew.
We were also unaware that France houses unstable pockets of reality that warp space-time. The slowdown on this rooftop is really jarring. This game seems incredibly unoptimized for the PS2.
Yeah, all that's problematic. Enough to get us squirming in our seats.
Maybe we should just chill out, get our bearings, and then plow through the rest of this clearly messy start.
Sure, why not?
What?
Are we taking damage? What?
We did nothing wrong! We stood Lara in a frickin' doorway! That's all!
No, there's no way this game is this freaking busted. There's a huge glitch within inches of where the whole thing starts. Lara spawns right there. How did you miss that? What's hurting us? A phantom specter? Or a ghost? That's not a ghost! That's bad code is what that is!
Okay, time out. Let's switch it up. Put on that fancy upgraded remastered version.
Sure thing. Here we go.
The This looks like a safe area. But I need to find a way out.
This is a remaster? I don't really see any difference. Did they redo any of the visuals?
Sure they did. This is the original graphics, and this is the remastered graphics.
I mean, some of those textures look sharper, I guess. But what about the controls? They must have fixed those, right?
Well, let's have a look at the old menu here. Hey, check this out. Modern controls.
Cool! That means we'll have a better time playing Angel of Darkness now.
Yeah!
Yeah! No fixing something that's broken, huh?
Well, back in PS2 land, we're still burdened by a tutorial with more hiccups than a hot sauce expo.
I mean, they could at least try to give us something that resembles a tomb while we learn the ropes. Get our raiding legs in Lara's natural element, you know? But nah, we're stuck watching Lara awkwardly waddle around and slowly interact with objects in a boring old apartment complex.
Here, we get to the first section of the game where we really need to hang and climb around.
Don't keep me hanging around. I need to reach the roof before I lose my grip.
Lose her grip? Wait, what's that in the top left corner? Is that a grip gauge? Why don't I remember Lara having one of those in the older games?
Because she never did. You were free to explore without a shrinking stamina bar demanding you rush around, which is good in a game where you need to thoughtfully think your way through puzzly platforming spaces.
But it looks like we still have puzzly platforming stuff in Angel of Darkness 2. What's the point of limiting Lara's grip if we're dealing with a similar style of gameplay?
I'm gonna hate this game real good.
Great. Extra pressure to zip through spaces in a game that controls like a narcoleptic rhino zooming down a ski jump.
If you thought it couldn't get any worse, we climb out onto a rooftop platform, snag a conveniently placed crowbar, and...
I need to shimmy to that walkway. But I don't think I'm strong enough yet.
Not strong enough yet? What do you mean? Why is that even a thing?
Not sure. Let's explore some more. Maybe we can make it to the other side over here if we try and climb across real quick.
Running out of grip stamina.
Go back, go back, go back, go
There's
back!
no time!
She's gonna fall! Ah! Oh, guess we can't go across that ledge. It's too far.
Right, okay. We never did use that crowbar that we nabbed, so let's see if we can put it to good use somewhere.
I feel stronger now.
Oh no.
I feel stronger now.
I think I see what's going on here.
What?
Hold on. Let's head back to that climbing space we died at a second ago.
We made the climb! Wait, we made the climb? Is that what Lara was alluding to before?
I feel stronger now.
Is there some upgradable strength system built into this game?
An RPG muscle leveling system.
Are you kidding me with this?
Well, this is the tutorial, I guess. I imagine this is gonna be all kinds of fun as we progress through this game.
To hug the wall whilst moving in stealth, press the action button when I'm standing next to it.
No. This game incorporates stealth too? Excuse me if I seem a little skeptical of this actually working, as I'm pretty sure Lara was having problems grabbing a frickin' ladder a minute ago.
But yep, it's true. We got stealth. With the click of a button, Lara gets into a stereotypical sneaky person stance.
Sneaky?
Not sneaky.
Sneaky?
Not sneaky.
Sneaky?
Not sneaky.
Sneaky? And it's apparently super duper effective. Look, the enemy doesn't even register Lara's existence with her head physically clipping through his arm. That's primo stealthing right there.
Well, this looks nice and busted. How about we check in on the remaster to see how they fixed this?
Shall I go straight on or climb that ladder?
What the heck? Did they incorporate a completely different training section? Gosh, it's gotta be better, right?
I can clear those railings easily.
It's different, I'll give it that, but it's not working any better than what we've seen in the original version. Lara be bugging out.
How can a remaster of an underdone game feel like a whole other layer of underdone? Criminy, Lara ain't even touching the freaking barrel she's moving.
Look, still got the exact same grip stamina bar problem too.
Don't keep me hanging around. I need to reach the roof before I lose my grip.
This whole new training area in the remaster actually seems more confusing than the one in the original version we just played.
This is the first jump and grab moment presented to you in the remaster, and it's pretty high up. If you miss, you'll fall and lose health, forcing you to climb back up and do it again. And if you do it enough,
Lara pieces out on the streets of Paris.
this is not how a training section should work. The sequence should not risk the main character's life. At least put a pool at the bottom of the drop to break her fall or something.
Yep, the remaster's all-new training section leaves a lot to be desired, and that extends to the part where they teach you how stealth works. Because man, this looks and plays so very busted.
Suspect apprehended. Repeat. Suspect apprehended.
Lara seems to give up way too easily, don't you think?
Back in the base PS2 version, simple things like engaging four-legged foes isn't just problematic, it's really pretty pathetic.
Here we decide to test out the game's hand-to-hand combat, another new addition that the creative team cooked up just for Angel of Darkness.
Needed more time in the oven.
He keeps sparring with our little K9 pal, but eventually he decides he's had enough of this game, clips into level geometry, and slowly blinks out of existence. I'm jealous.
Okay, wait. We've now seen how the PS2 version failed in its introductory levels, and we've seen how the remaster deals with them.
Poorly.
This is your last warning. Surrender.
Right, poorly. But what about that DVD? How does that deal with the tutorial and the parts that follow?
I must get away from the police and find out what happened. Recovering Werner's notebook might be a place to start. I'll go and see Mademoiselle Carvier at the address he gave me.
Looks like it turns most of the gameplay we suffered through into a series of stylish video montages.
Oh, but look! Sometimes we need to hit a direction button, or choose between a couple simple action prompts. Now that's exciting!
An hour of gameplay in the other versions is distilled into literal minutes in the interactive DVD, and if you're lucky, it skips some sequences altogether.
You know what that means, right? The DVD's probably the best way to play the game.
Yeah, but the only thing the DVD version does that's baffled us so far is this.
Take that, innocent guard who probably has a family! We're really good at tomb filling. I mean rating! Tomb rating!
She's just straight up murdering innocent guards? You can't do that in the PS2 or remaster at this point in the game. You could only knock them out. Why the heck did they give her the shoot to kill option in the DVD?
Maybe because at this point in the PS2 version, if that guard sees Lara first, he unloads every round he has on her?
Okay, sure. In previous games, Lara defends herself against enemies trying to kill her. But sneaking up behind someone and eliminating them because they might be a threat? Lara doesn't randomly kill innocent people. That's not who Lara Croft is.
Thank you.
She's not a murderer.
I guess in the DVD version, the police are 100% justified in believing she is a murderer because she totally is a murderer!
Yikes. Let's sideline the unwarranted manslaughter and get back to the game on console.
Sure. Lara ditches the cops in the streets and she finally hunts down a person connected to Werner von Croy, a woman named Carvier. Hopefully she has more information about whatever the heck's going on in this game.
Mademoiselle Carvier, I have just come from Werner's apartment.
And how is Werner?
I'm afraid Werner is dead.
Dead.
Well, would you look at that? Seems we've got another new system in this Tomb Raider game. Branching dialogue options.
Yeah, we get to pick from dialogue selections that range from calm and unassertive to pushy and aggressive. Fun.
No matter what you pick, you only seem to get minor deviations in dialogue that lead right back to the exact same script. In other words, we're really not getting much in terms of changed outcomes, no matter what we choose.
In the end, the most change you can influence here is whether or not Carvier hands over a special notebook Werner wanted to give to Lara.
Talk correctly, Carvier hands over the book freely. Get it wrong, Lara needs to search Carvier's apartment for Werner's super secret hidden book all on her own.
Which is, let's see here. literally sitting in the first drawer we open. No one would ever look there.
So we've experienced a branching conversation system that pretends to lead to different outcomes, but really just lands you the exact same result.
Yep, and seeing as the game literally won't let you leave without Werner's notebook,
I have business here. I can't leave yet.
it seems pretty obvious that we are firmly glued to whatever beats this game wants us to hit. So far, our choices mean nothing. It's a wasted idea.
Next, our intrepid adventurer ends up in another part of Paris where we
get to raid tombs?
Ha, no. Why would we do that? Instead, Lara finds herself in a Parisian ghetto. She needs to run around and talk to regular old NPCs. Werner's notebook made reference to some seedy businessman named Bouchard. We gotta go get info on that guy.
We get to try the branch and dialogue system on a bunch more people. You have a lot of choices to make as Lara, but none of it means much.
As a positive in the remaster, the NPC models have been upgraded significantly.
The idle animations? Not so much.
No matter who you speak to and in what order you talk to them in, you're pointed to a single place, Bouchard's Nightclub. Bouchard isn't there. Instead, we're looking for some MacGuffin in order to advance the plot.
But before we head there, let's talk about these fancy Parisian streets. This place is great. You got stacks of money just lying around. Leave and come back, and the money respawns. Infinite moolah!
Ooh, and look over here. Free candy.
Lara Croft, studious upbringing, master explorer.
Peels half-wrapped chocolate bar off City Street, saves it for later.
There are a few different buildings to check out around here too. Like this cafe where we see this guy. No clue who this is yet, but sure looks important, doesn't he?
Oh, don't get too close. He seems to be casting some sort of fancy magic spell.
I think he's probably supposed to be turning the pages of his newspaper.
Oh, well, then that's just sad.
Yep, gotta admit it though, you can get some pretty flattering camera angles in this place.
Très magnifique. Continuing to roam the streets, we gotta talk about the loading around here. It can be totally unhinged. There are moments when you don't walk more than a few steps and you're hit with a solid 15-second wait time. A few more steps after that, another 15-second load screen. Look at this. It's merciless. We're just dealing with a couple tiny streets here.
Can we just get to that Bouchard guy's freaking nightclub already?
Right. Fine. We'll sneak in through the back door and... Whoa, bad news. Looks like security's pretty tight around this place.
And we'd be totally intimidated too, if the guard's IQ didn't rival his shoe size.
I think we may have been a bit generous with the whole shoe size remark.
Our mission is to search this club and retrieve some parcel that was hidden in a broken light fixture. Should be easy with these morons as guards.
Pronikl do strzeżonego prostoru.
That didn't go as planned. I don't think this game really wants us to use the stealth approach. It's pushing us more in the gun down everything that moves direction.
So far, we've been dealing with the enemies by using a combination of stealth and Lara's fancy new hand-to-hand combat skills. We seem to be dealing with more and more guards in this nightclub setting, and these guys are packing heat. Guess it's time for Lara to gear up too. Okay, that was easier.
But that is not Lara Croft. She does not kill innocent security guards doing their job when someone breaks into their building.
Especially when they'd be on high alert about some woman who the police are looking for who is a suspect in a murder.
In previous titles, she would use her guns against monsters and beasts and armed assailants that are actively hunting her. She defends herself, yes, but she doesn't willy-nilly gun down random people.
It's not the player's fault for choosing to play this way when it's the only viable path presented to them. But the devs should have known better than to give Lara a problem where the only real solution is to let the bullets fly.
Did they fix this glaring mistake in the remaster?
Nope, she basically needs to blast him dead in every incarnation.
By the way, Lara's shooties work similar to how they did in the earlier Tomb Raider titles. You take out a weapon and Lara naturally locks onto the nearest enemy, making it pretty simple to take him down.
One Tyrannosaurus-sized difference, though? Lara's classic infinite ammo twin pistol loadout? Scrubbed from this game. Don't even look for it, you won't find it. This means she needs to rely solely on found weapons with limited ammunition. Run out of ammo? She pretends to shoot. It's stupidly endearingly stupid.
As a fan of the Tomb Raider games prior to Angel of Darkness, I know those earlier titles had extra weapons you could grab that had limited reserves, but this whole nixing the double guns thing, it's kinda sacrilege. By default, Lara packs twice the heat and doesn't count bullets. It's her thing.
You're telling me it was so synonymous with the character that Lara was featured with dual pistols on almost every game cover to this point in the early 2000s. And that includes this very game!
What? Oh man, unbelievable! The front cover, the back cover, and hey, even the freaking gameplay screenshots. This is just insulting.
Luckily, according to marketing material, they reintroduced the dual pistoleros in the remaster.
So she starts right out the gate with the double pistols.
No.
Have we found them at any moment during our playthrough at all?
No.
Great! Back to the task at hand. We activate a light show that also activates problems with the platforming.
Like we mentioned earlier, it never feels like we have an absolutely definitive way to make Lara do the things we need her to do.
Just so everyone can understand what we're trying to explain here, every version of each of the first 5 Tomb Raider games utilize the same design and layout based on a certain element.
Cubes!
Yes, cubes. Everything is cubes. Check out this training section that you can go through in Lara's homestead, Croft Manor, in the first Tomb Raider.
Everything here is set up to properly prepare the player for traversal in the campaign. Every style of jump and grab, even swimming. It sets out all the control rules for the player.
And this whole environment consists of cubes. See? These give you an accurate sense of distance, both vertically and horizontally. And once we started to notice these things, we couldn't stop seeing them.
Even the movable objects you'll find are cubes. It's all cubes, people. Cubes.
Like Neo seeing the code in the Matrix, you'll begin to see the digital Legos that make up Tomb Raider space.
Whoa. This consistent world design is created to handshake with the game's controls, which, though sluggish and heavy, almost always play nice with their surroundings.
As long as you abide by the movement rules that were taught to you in the manor.
Exactly! So, no, Lara doesn't move as free or smooth as, say, Super Mario in his inaugural 3D outing.
But once you know the control rules, apply them, and start to understand the cube level design, the game actually plays pretty well for an early 3D adventure game. The controls, the cubes, they just go together.
And what did Angel of Darkness go ahead and do?
They abandoned the heavy emphasis on grid-based cube worlds. Look at this place. We're cubeless.
We still have objects we can move around, push and pull, but nothing locks to a cube-based grid like in the original games.
And yet, despite all of this change, we still have a lead character that moves and controls similar to how she did in those cubed zones.
We get it. This is a new game on a new generation of hardware. It's not unreasonable to assume they'd want to try new things for the series. But if you're gonna ditch a world ruled by cubic design for something a little looser, and by gosh, Lara has got to have drastic changes to the way she moves as well.
In addition to the clashing mishmash we just described, there are a ton of readability problems in these levels too. Interactable objects often aren't clearly telegraphed, and we don't always know where Lara is supposed to go, or even if she's physically able to go to certain places.
Like here, we make this jump over from the scaffolding perfectly the first time. All good. Later, we had to reload and redo the same jump, and she doesn't make it. And she doesn't make it. And she doesn't make it. We're left scratching our heads wondering what we're doing wrong.
I swear, you feel like a wizard anytime you make it through even the simplest platforming puzzles in this game. But at least we make it to the top eventually, one step closer to getting through this miserable area.
I'm not strong enough.
Are you serious? We can't open the door? We spent all that time and scrambled up all that scaffolding for this?
I'm not strong enough.
Should we backtrack or something?
I feel stronger now.
4 steps away. The solution to the door problem was 4 steps away.
I feel stronger now.
Was that supposed to be a puzzle? Why would you introduce a door that seems like a progress gate only to have the solution be 4 steps away? What's the point of even having the door locked for the player?
I feel stronger now.
But look! Laura feels stronger now.
Feels stronger? I don't care how Lara feels. This upgrade system has 0 bearing on 99% of what we're actually doing. Oh, but our stamina's improved. We can hang longer. In the sequel to the games that never had a stamina bar and we're all the better for it?
Can we leave?
If there's an ounce of sanity in this madhouse.
We finally get what we came for, what turns out to be this little box thing. And then we deal with more super smart security personnel. Cool, let's get out of here.
Next up on our search for the elusive Bouchard has us poking through a neat graveyard area.
Apparently, there's supposed to be some kind of special mausoleum around here, an entrance to where Bouchard is holed up. Alls we gots to do now is find it.
Not over here.
Not over here.
Not up here.
Not over here. Don't worry, folks. This isn't the first time the game pooped the bed and forced us to restart from a previous save state. Believe it or not, the game's already hard-locked on us multiple times.
Sorry, kids, there just aren't enough hours in the day to show you every stupid issue in Angel of Darkness. Anyway, before Lara was symbolically swallowed by the manifestation of the darkness this game has packed into our souls, she was actually getting pretty close to where she needs to be.
Here, this is the super special secret mausoleum area.
Looks like we'll probably need to push this huge stone angel statue, and then we can head on in.
I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough. I feel stronger now.
I feel nauseous.
The mausoleum leads to the sewers, and more importantly, to Bouchard.
But before we dive into the rock that old Bouchy is hidden under, let's check in with the DVD version of Angel of Darkness. Anything special about this area and that release?
Looks like we got a QuickTime prompt that poorly mimics the actual act of jumping. A 3-button input looks dead simple. But I'm curious, what exactly happens if we fail this thing?
They couldn't have sprung for something a little bit more impactful than death by butt chomps? Oh no, my butt's being bitten! It's being bitten so bad! We take it back. The DVD's worse. It's much, much worse.
Back to the PS2 and Bouchard, who we finally find. This guy's got loads to say, so much so that we have to deal with more branching dialogue.
Laura asks about her dead acquaintance Werner, but Bouchard seems intent on giving her the runaround.
I remember, 4 weeks ago, wanted to take a coachload of Japanese tourists to see the Mona Lisa.
What do you think we should pick?
Well, our choices barely mattered before. Pick whatever. They're both super similar either way.
Don't joke me around, Bouchard. I lost that friend yesterday.
You better watch your mouth, lady.
I'll watch nothing. I'm sick of your Parisian lowlife ways. I need results.
Careful, Vixen. You don't need things to get any worse.
And how will that happen? You'll set these pussycats on me, right?
Wrong. I'll take care of this myself. Welcome to Paris.
Wait, what?
Lara teased Bouchard about killing her? Then she patiently waited while the man slowly pulled out a gun and shot her?
Welcome to Paris.
Laura, let it happen!
guess that's what we get for choosing the wrong dialogue?
Come on, how are we supposed to know that a bullet was even a possibility? Look at these text options. They're mundane, barely even confrontational.
You know, after something like this, I'd love to say that this proves that the branching dialogue in this game actually has an effect on how the story plays out, but it's literally an instant game over.
Right. This isn't changing the course of our playthrough beyond wasting our time until we reload and pick the other stupid dialogue option.
Anyway, when Bouchard isn't aerating Lara's torso,
welcome to Paris.
He reveals that Werner was asking him about an archaeological dig at the Louvre Museum.
And Lara's raring to get there, but she needs to gear up first. Bouchard points her in the direction of a pawn shop that could help her out.
Stand aside.
Well now, he looks too dumb not to be the bad guy, doesn't he?
We get to the pawn shop and it's in shambles. The owner's been killed, and look over here. The place is totally rigged with explosives.
Maybe we'll just grab a couple things while we're here.
You think that's a good idea?
Damn it.
Ah, crap. Let's get the heck out of here.
Well, they got the explodey part. They just forgot the whole boom, kaboom, blammo thing.
Reload! Let's try it again.
Maybe we can, crawl under the gap in those motion sensors.
Didn't think you could make an explosion less exciting than a soggy piece of bread, but they did it.
Don't worry, folks. We eventually figured out that there's a hatch in the floor. A hatch that we can use to get away from all those nasty old explosives.
You gotta be kidding!
Look, fellas, I can do explosion or I can do boom sound. My packaging lies about dual-wielding pistols. I mean, what do you expect from me?
When we get the heck out of the pawn shop properly, there's another cutscene.
Hey, it's the mysterious newspaper wizard we saw casting spells at the cafe.
Wow, this guy must see women engulfed in flames swan dive onto hard surfaces to extinguish themselves all the time.
Well, just another Wednesday.
We get another cutscene with a group of mysterious evil-looking folks that call themselves the Cabal. Their leader, that weird ponytail guy we saw near the pawn shop.
He mentions the Obscura paintings, which we heard about from Werner at the beginning of the game. He also blabs about something called the Sleeper, a creature I'm guessing we'll probably have to deal with later in the game.
Fun note, looking at this cutscene in the interactive DVD version, it seems they forgot to render all those fancy Obscura paintings and sketches. So this ponytail ringleader is seemingly drawing everyone's attention to a framed part of a blank brick wall. Oh, by the way, we also find out who this ponytailed old-timer is. His name is Eckhardt.
Master Eckhardt.
Eckhardt? Didn't Werner say something about an Eckhardt before he croaked?
I'm tracking 5 Obscura paintings for a client called Eckhardt, but he's a psychopath.
Great!
Now, Lara's gotta make her way into the Louvre via the museum's storm drain system.
Ooh, candy!
Yes, Miss Croft, grab the chocolate that's caked on the sewer floor. Never mind that rat nearby, which clearly has higher standards.
We're sure it's chocolate, right?
Sure it is. Sure it is. While we're talking rats, in the remaster, Lara gets poisoned if she's bit by one of these little disease carriers. We can use a poison antidote, an item new to this version of the game to cure her. Simple enough.
The weird thing, though, we found out that regular healing items cure your poison too. And they also heal Lara's regular health in conjunction.
It basically makes the antidote item, a thing that the remaster folks took time to place into the game, kind of redundant. Feels like you'd only need to use an antidote if you were poisoned and had 0 health pack items, or if you're at full health.
You know, it would have solved that problem.
I need to get an antidote fast.
If they didn't even place this poison system in this game at all!
This extra difficulty is not needed. And still, we're stuck and lost here in this
poopy old sewer?
Poopy old sewer with infected rats.
We find some valves, and they require a strength upgrade.
It won't turn. My arms aren't strong enough.
You know, because apparently our last upgrade, which allowed Lara to push hundreds of pounds of stone statue, wasn't good enough.
I think I'm strong enough to turn those valves.
Nudging a fan blade a few inches? That did it? That bulked you up?
I think I'm strong enough to turn those valves.
Can we say this is the worst progress gating system we've seen in any game? Because I think it is.
You get what they're doing with all this, right, folks? These immovable obstacles, the doors, the statues, the valves, all that. When Lara finds these objects, she is always too weak to interact with them.
And if she wanders around long enough, she'll interact with some unrelated object that will upgrade her strength. A stat progression which, by the way, is completely invisible.
Let's boil this down to its most stupid, simple core. This whole gameplay loop is an archetypal video game key mechanic.
When Lara says,
"I'm not strong enough,"
she's actually saying,
"I don't have a key for this door."
So off you go to find one. A key that is some random object somewhere that makes her say,
"I feel stronger."
When she interacts with it, this translates to,
"I found a key." It's the same for her hanging and shimmying across heights. If she feels like she can't move forward, it's less about her being well exercised and more about the creative team not wanting the player to enter a location before they say it's okay.
So, we're forced to explore every area in this game while utilizing the worst invisible gating system we've seen in any Tomb Raider game ever.
This whole section feels like bloated busy work. You turn a valve or flick a switch in one place just to be able to do the same thing in another, and so on and so on.
And to add to this, the game has several forced camera angles that actively hide places you're supposed to go to or things you're supposed to see. Purposely making spaces harder to navigate or understand isn't fun for the player, it's frustrating.
I mean, we do experience some moments of levity here, but I don't think they're intentional.
I can smell oil. I'd better be careful.
With this footage in mind, I would say that Lara's prone to overreacting, but a little while later we get her a bit too close to some flames and she's cool as a cucumber.
This whole game is truly an unhallowed work of art. Speaking of which, we finally managed to get our charred hero into the Louvre.
And we're guessing security caught a whiff of singed Croft right away, because they're alerted to our presence post-haste.
Whether or not they'll actually do something about this, that's still up in the air.
You can take out guards in different non-lethal ways, like with a sneak attack or even a kind of taser gun that shocks enemies into submission.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say non-lethal? You mean Lara does indeed care about murdering innocent security guards, but only if they're protecting illustrious historical relics at the Louvre and not watching over some freaking nightclub?
I suppose so.
Lara is a classist. That's what she is.
Meanwhile, over in the interactive DVD version, there are instances where you're not even given the choice for non-lethal engagement. Here, we're forced to gun down a regular, innocent museum employee.
Jeez, guy seemed like he was just getting some air. Lara literally shot an innocent man in the back.
Over on console, I think we're supposed to be given the option to kind of crawl and sneak around this area to avoid detection by the guards.
But Metal Gear Solid, this ain't. Crawling isn't a great tactic. Even from a distance where other games may give you a little breathing room, security will still see you.
Hey, vous, plus un geste.
So, electro-shocking these guards is the best approach.
Did we? Okay. That was a little delayed.
Around here, we run into other criminal safeguards, like more motion-sensing lasers. You touch them, the room goes into lockdown.
You gotta be real careful as you move through. It's super easy to trigger these lasers at any point. If you do, you gotta reset the system and start all over again from the beginning.
With a character that moves like a department store mannequin, this ain't easy.
We managed to get more attention from security in here. And well, I hope these guys don't get overtime pay.
Hey, and look at this. The guards don't even trip the freaking motion sensors around here. That's not fair. How's that even possible?
We've had plenty of gripes with enemy interactions in other levels, but we feel like we're seeing a new low around here. Imagine being stationed in the Louvre to watch over priceless artwork, and you think your time's best served staring at and walking into a large wooden door.
Bright as a lump of coal.
Lara's infiltration mission eventually brings us face to face with the most famous painting in the world, Leonardo da Vinci's The Mona Lisa.
Her impossible-to-describe facial expression, almost a smirk, that has captivated the world for more than half a millennia,
is not here.
Jeez, well, surely they cleared all that up with the remaster, right?
Ugh.
Looks like Mrs. Lisa was holding a sneeze before Leo done got painting.
One eye closed, one eye open, looking day drunk. Classic Mona Lisa.
From what we can tell, this may be the face of Peter Connolly, who had been making the music for the last couple Tomb Raider games. Probably just a fun Easter egg.
An Easter egg is usually something you wouldn't notice right away. This is the Mona Ding Dang Lisa. It's the very first thing we looked at when we got in this room.
Welcome to Paris.
I don't know, maybe they thought you'd be distracted by some of the other canvases around here.
Oh, sure, plenty to look at. In fact, this room is also home to another priceless work of art.
Really? Which one?
Leonardo da Vinci's earlier work, The Last Supper.
Well, that's nice to see a real image of a classic masterpiece.
Both of them.
Both of them? Isn't there only one?
What can I say? I'm seeing two.
Right. Silly me. How could I forget The Last Supper and Leonardo's lesser-known piece, The Penultimate Brunch, where the disciples invented the mimosa?
And this isn't even the dumbest part of this painting's appearance here, because The Last Supper can only be found in Milan, Italy, not Paris.
Couldn't they have loaned it to the Louvre or something?
I'd find that pretty impossible.
Really? Why?
Because it's a freaking mural on a wall. That means that this is a photograph of a wall placed up on another wall in a museum in Paris.
Enough about this ridiculous wall art! What the heck are we even supposed to be doing in this room?
There's a vent we need to access right above the I can't believe it's not Lisa. Gotta be careful though. We can turn off these motion sensors around it, but they reactivate if we take too long. If they catch you, gas gets pumped into the room, and then it's lights out for Lara.
Well, no problem. We got this. Just jump before the lasers reactivate and... There! Made it! Wait. Why the gas? I made the jump! Why the gas?
While in our PS2 playthrough, apparently you can activate the gas and it has no effect on Lara at all. Smells like jank to me.
Lara's continued search brings her to the back offices of the museum, where we learn that Eckhardt has had ties to the Obscura paintings for hundreds of years. Dude's basically immortal.
Seems he wants the paintings because of some metallic symbol embedded in each of them. Why? What does this mean? The game doesn't seem to want to elaborate.
It won't open.
Oh look, a locked respirator cabinet that we can't get access to.
But obviously this isn't intended for the Mona Lisa gas because we cleared that room already, like champs. Could this be a Chekhov's gas mask? Yeah, calling it now. We totally gonna get gassed later.
How many poison gas events in one museum level does this game think we need?
We eventually find our way to the archaeological dig site Lara was dying to check out. Here we stumble into more information. We read about beings that once existed that were human-angel hybrids. They are called the Nephilim race. This seems like very difficult information for Lara to process.
Why do you say that?
'Cause it broke her brain.
The Nephilim race. The Nephilim race. The Nephilim race. The Nephilim race. The Nephilim.
The dig site runs deep and features an incredibly large enclosure called the Tomb of the Ancients.
Wait, are we finally raiding a tomb in this Tomb Raider game?
Yeah, looks like it.
How long did it take us?
Several long hours and a whopper of a headache. But we're excited to get Lara into her element, at least until we actually examine the place.
Holy crap, now that is a sheer drop. It seems to have dozens of tiny platforms and thin protruding posts that we need to use to make our way down.
Don't know who this random skeleton is, but he seems just as surprised as we are with this whole situation.
Lara's flawed movement and inconsistent jumping mechanics make this area a real trial to get through, and the proper way down doesn't feel well telegraphed at all.
We've got climbable wall textures that blend in with all other surroundings, and even when you think you know the right leap to make, it takes too many attempts to properly land on anything.
Yep, if you're like us, you'll find you'll need to save spam after every successful hop or ledge grab. Any brave soul that tries to complete this section in one unbroken attempt will find only pain and misery.
And no, we know what you're thinking. It does not get better in the remaster.
Her movement, even with the modern controls, is unfocused and seemingly random at times. Lara simply doesn't control as precisely as you need her to.
By the way, you might find glitched bad enemies here too. We did. We consider this kind of a glass half full element here.
The Hall of Seasons is our next level hurdle. Inside, we're met with one of these undead knight characters. We've already tried to take these guys on in the Tomb of Ancients, and let's just say it didn't go the way we were expecting.
Don't bother engaging these clunkers. You'll just waste a ton of your limited ammo. Just run past them. Trust us, they aren't worth the aggravation.
A telltale sign you're playing a bad game when avoiding the actual gameplay is not only possible, but the best way to get through it.
In the remaster, it seems they tried to make the Hall of Seasons more exciting by adding 2 extra skeletons, and yet we're still capable of running away just as easily.
The Hall of Seasons is an area that's different from others we've encountered. It acts as a hub space with a bunch of smaller connected challenge rooms. Each room has a gem that we need to fetch. Easier said than done.
You thought the platforming was a disaster before? Wait until you get a rock-solid kick to the beanies with this.
Bear witness, as we now have to make pitch-perfect pounces onto smaller, often moving objects. It's a hoptacular nightmare. Impossible to traverse with any kind of ease. These sections feel like they are designed solely to break the very will of the player.
Which means we're forced, once again, to save constantly. Because fact is, we're barely ever capable of making 2 successful jumps in a row. That's how bad the controls are. And that's how cruelly these spaces are designed.
And no, modern controls do not redeem this puzzle room in the slightest. Every bit of ground you touch still falls from under you, leaving you scrambling to figure out just how to jump from section to section without Lara falling to her doom.
Some of our favorite moments of these death-infested hotspots include the time Lara Wile E. Coyote'd herself up a fallen stone pillar, gravity not kicking in until her animation settled.
Then there were all the moments when Lara died and her character model decided to give up and clip through solid ground. Every single time.
Can't forget to mention how Lara drowns in molten lava. Look, she magically floats out of the fiery liquid unscathed by the heat. I don't think these folks have watched Terminator 2.
We can keep going, because the wave of dumb never recedes. Lara can catch fire in this area and, well, see if you can spot the issue we're dealing with here, folks.
Am I seeing things right? Are we not taking any damage at all?
Nope. For some reason, Lara is completely unaffected while totally engulfed in flames.
It never ends. Lara can perpetually cook in this room. This isn't some clever mechanic in the game. What we're seeing is something very, very broken.
Maybe we can just try to stop, drop, and roll?
The game's a hot mess!
By the way, just want to quickly mention, this game has a giant metal spike problem. Sure, they can cut and stab you the way you might assume,
but they can also take you out even when it really doesn't seem like they should.
What exactly did she get killed by? Touching a spike from the side, that's not dangerous. Cheap death! That was awkward and goofy. And you know what? The enemy intelligence can be described in the same way. Maybe it's lost the will to live after realizing it's immortalized in this game.
Let's do it a favor.
sweet relief. Thank you, Miss Croft.
Even after our good deed, we're still not done. We get Lara back on the trail of one of those obscura paintings. It leads us to this place, where we engage in an otherworldly boss encounter.
We've got this glowing red specter fellow. Scary stuff.
I'm not sure what's more frightening, the fact that we're fighting a real-deal ghost, or the fact that an ethereal and undead entity seems to be affected by standard shotgun blasts.
Turns out the most otherworldly part of this encounter is discovering that the shotgun has no recoil, no reload, and can be shot as quickly as the player can tap the fire button.
We've turned a pump-action firearm into an assault rifle. Our enemy? Stricken dumb with confusion.
Lara, how many shells you got?
Really doesn't seem like this ghost boss can be taken out in any conventional way. We eventually get bored, scoop up what appears to be an obscura painting, and leave the room.
In the remaster, you can do this in less than a minute. You even get an achievement for it.
Now that was a very unsatisfying boss battle, and it was the first one in the whole game. Wonder how something like that plays out on the interactive DVD.
It's definitely different. For one, Lara and the Crimson Being kinda calmly stare each other down, back and forth, over and over, till she figures out what she wants to do.
Nice of that evil specter, letting her take her time like that.
When we do leap into action, we get another quick time button prompt event.
I'd like to imagine that Lara's just screaming these arrow directions at the Wraith and he kinda shrugs and goes along with it.
Did you just say up, right, up, left, down? Damn, girl, that's my greatest weakness.
Got it.
The fancy obscura painting is now in our possession, just like in the console versions, where we're now working on our way back through the Louvre.
Right, only this time, looks like we're not dealing with standard museum security anymore.
Correct. Eckhardt's crew have infiltrated the place. They're using airborne chemicals to take out anyone not wearing a gas mask.
Okay, maintain radio silence. You have your targets. Move out.
Except that guy, who, he should probably be dead, right?
I is big strong man. Muscles not need fresh air. This green cabbage flatulence is nothing.
Can't breathe.
Unfortunately, Lara's not quite so lucky. She's gotta fight not to inhale the toxins.
Must hold my breath till I find the respirator.
Would probably help to stop talking, Lara. We're pretty sure we heard a couple real solid inhales while you were blabbing.
Must hold my breath till I find the respirator.
Hey, buddy, you smell that?
Smells like Chekhov's gas mask to me.
Back to the museum offices!
Might have been better if we could have just picked one up originally, instead of breathing in toxic fart smoke this whole time while we rush back to get one.
But hey, now we should be able to handle this whole poisoned air situation more effectively.
My foot speed has increased. Hold down the sprint button to run faster.
And run faster?
How does that work? Gas masks make Lara run faster? What?
It made sense with Lara's arm and leg upgrades. They were tied to objects that made use of her arms and legs.
There is no logic here. Upgrades can just happen whenever for whatever. It's a magical system without rules or limitations. Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Lara's fancy sprint ability doesn't even feel all that well implemented. She has problems juggling her zippy movement, turning, and keeping a firearm equipped at the same time. Rushing out the Louvre, we have another encounter with that mysterious male figure we've spotted throughout the game. And things get, well, physical.
The man unarms Lara, taking away her classic dual pistol layout, which, we should remind you, we still have not seen anywhere in this game.
He also nabs Lara's obscura painting. And turns out we were right about this guy being a wizard of sorts, because it seems he can control a toothed, rounded weapon with some kind of magical aura.
Suddenly, Eckhardt's men are upon them, shooting bullets that only seem to go through the glass display case directly beside Lara, leaving the glass in front of them curiously intact?
Wow, that's an oversight.
No time to dwell on it. Lara's gotta get the painting back. She tails the unknown thief in a long, sometimes pretty awkward chase scene. only to find him unconscious moments before she gets knocked out herself.
Lara is knocked out by an unknown assailant who seems to switch shapes?
When Croft comes to, Bouchard is asking her to get up and follow him. Lara's confused. Understandably, where's the guy she was chasing? How did Bouchard find her?
Let's hope we get answers.
Lara wants to head back to Werner's apartment and Bouchard agrees to take her there. But when Lara heads in, we see that Bouchard may not really be looking out for her interests.
She's inside now. You can send in the cleaner.
Gasp! Bouchard is conspiring to have Lara killed?
A surprising turn of events, especially considering Lara was freshly knocked out a few minutes ago, and he probably could have just walked up to her and offed her on the spot right there.
Are you saying Bouchard would just kill someone on a whim like that?
Yes.
Inside the apartment, Lara has a flashback of Werner's death. Only this time, we see more of what transpired.
Get out! Get out of the way! No!
Looks like Eckhardt may be the one behind the whole dang thing.
Interesting. Let's have a look around old Bernie's abode and see what else we can find.
I'll say this, for a relatively normal-looking old guy, Werner sure has a thing for leaving full ammo clips lying around everywhere. There's more than a baker's dozen of these things all over the place.
After bumbling around for a bit, we really were not sure what to do next, so we went to go leave the apartment when...
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Is that a bunch of explosives with trip lasers?
Why, yes! I believe it was!
And look at that! They remain unexploded and active even after they explode.
Eventually, the cleaner shows up.
Well, this guy sure does live up to the name, the cleaner, because he's a sponge for bullets.
I'm kinda getting bored of shooting. Should we, punch him?
Sure, couldn't hurt.
Well, that hurt.
The cleaner stays spotless.
When Mr. Clean here doesn't glitch, we eventually find ourselves in an old-fashioned shootout.
Only the game suddenly decides it doesn't feel like playing projectile sounds right now, and we're both left with gameplay like this. Oh, it's cool. It's cool, game. We got you.
Bam, pew pew pew, bam. Projectile hurty metal sounds.
He's running out of the room. Quick, catch him.
So, the lasers somehow just magically know when he's passing through them, but explode only for Lara?
He must have been trained by the same security guards at the Louvre.
After tossing way more bullets than necessary into this guy, we finally get to take him out in the hallway.
Hello. Is she dead yet? We have to get back to Prague.
Righto! Guess we need to head off to Prague now.
Prague is home to an art dealer connected to Werner and the Obscura paintings, and he's recently been killed. Lara's got to investigate.
We meet a reporter outside the crime scene that has plenty of information on Eckhardt and his cronies in the area. It's another branching dialogue encounter.
Being the studious gamers we are, we wanted to reload the encounter and see what would happen if we made different dialogue choices. And this quickly led to a very noticeable audio problem.
This is what the dialogue sounded like the first time we played through.
What do you know about that building over there?
What?
The one you're watching, with police tape all around it.
The Vasily place? It's a murder scene. I'm a reporter.
And this is what it sounded like the second time.
What do you know about that building over there?
What?
The one you're watching, with police tape all around it.
The Vasily place? It's a murder scene. I'm a reporter.
It's like the dialogue is being run down a well or something. No idea why this is happening, but we gotta admit, it's pretty entertaining.
Angel of Darkness is an endless glitch treasure trove, and Prague is clearly no exception. Any curious adventurer is going to run into problems eventually, like right here.
Random people on the street shooting our protagonists for seemingly no reason and who are dreadfully bad at it. You'd think this is a one-off encounter, but his cousin seems to work down the street.
Oh, Cousin Nikolai? Yeah, that guy hates walls.
Is Lara hanging on thin air? Wait, how is this even possible? What is Prague's atmosphere filled with?
Oop, careful. Almost slipped.
On nothing?
I guess.
Oh, super! Looks like we're wedged in another black void beyond the confines of the game world.
Combing the Prague area and its basements, we're on the lookout for more connections to the Obscura paintings and the bad folks that want them. This leads us to our old buddy turned antagonist, Bouchard. With Bouchard subdued, it's time to wring information out of him. He unloads a ton of details about what's going on, telling us that the Obscura paintings are somehow going to be used to revive a creature called the Cubiculum Nephili, a member of the extinct Nephilim race.
The Nephilim race. The Nephilim race. The Nephilim race. The Nephilim...
Right! Them! The half-angel, half-human creatures we heard about before. Sounds like nothing but trouble for humanity. For some reason, Eckhardt and his crew want to breathe these things back into existence. That's a problem.
Good thing the world can depend on Lara Croft. She's a problem solver. Got a good head on her shoulders.
I don't know about that last part, man. I mean, she seems to have placed Bouchard's gun back in his hand after she cuffed him to the radiator.
Are you implying Bouchard would just kill someone on a whim like that?
Yes. Around this time, we work our way through more climbing exploration.
Hey Shane, have Lara's control problems been improved at all by this point in the remaster?
No, Adam, I'd say it hasn't improved very much at all.
Pushing through, we find an Obscura engraving, which is somehow supposed to help lead Lara to another of those evil creature awakening Obscura paintings.
But when we return to Bouchard, he's gone. Where could that guy be?
Found him. Guy's so dead, half his head's clipping through the dang floor.
With adventuring the janky streets of Prague wrapped, Lara heads to where the big bad enemy, the Cabal, has set up shop.
We infiltrate through a warehouse stage with a door that seems to shuffle in and out of reality.
And giant metal beams that suddenly allow solid matter to pass right through them.
Well, Lara does have the tendency to phase through a lot of objects in this adventure.
She can even perform that trick on her own body. When we try to jump over this barbed wire fence, and Lara decides she'd rather just lay down and collapse in on herself.
And hey, ever see a dog bite a lady through a metal chain fence before?
No.
Well, now you have!
Wow, I don't know how reality works in this game anymore. Getting into the fortress proper, Lara's got to power down different sections of the facility to properly infiltrate, including an area that's housing some kind of beast.
I wonder what needs that kind of security to keep it in.
Gee, Lara, there's no possible way it's something dangerous or unsafe.
Oh, better unlock them big old security doors. Nothing bad will happen for sure, probably, maybe.
Well, if we had any lingering uncertainties as to whether or not Lara cares about other human beings, this certainly settles it.
Look, we get it. Lara is a murderer now. She kills for reasons unknown. That is ultra frustrating to have to come to terms with, people. But one of the most frustrating moments in the game as a whole takes place right after this. We decided to call this magnum opus of downright bad the laser field of hate.
Now, you might be distracted with Lara holding on to sheer nothingness on the shelving unit.
But don't be, because you have a challenge before you.
You see this field of lasers? Good. You will walk towards them slowly, all the while not knowing what they do. Once you barely touch the closest laser with your foot, Lara will die instantly. Okay, obviously, we have to avoid these lasers. Maybe Lara's meant to jump over them, like the lasers in the museum.
Wait, we made that jump! Did we die instantly again? Play that footage back! Aha! Aha! You see? Lara had full health, and the second we jumped over the laser, Bam! Empty health bar.
Lara is totally clearing these lasers, but there's an invisible death wall above them. When Lara even enters that airspace, she's instantly taken out.
They're railroading how we choose to clear this stage. That sucks! Especially after they taught us how to jump over lasers earlier at the museum. We're doing what you told us to do.
Okay, well, how about we try crawling under all this?
If Laura can't go over the lasers, what makes you think she'll be able to... Huh. How does that make any sense?
Sure, it's slow, but this is obviously what they wanted us to do, right?
Well, we made it. Guess we should stand up and... Oh, come on!
Nothing even touched us.
This is it. Game over. No more Angel of Darkness. This game is so non-functional, it cannot be beat.
But then, by sheer luck, we notice this thing. A slightly fuming gas tank.
I think that is an invitation to shoot it.
Can't see how that would hurt. Give it a love tap. Oh, more steam. Okay, I think it's doing something. Shoot it again. Look at that flame burn. Ooh, one more shot ought to do it.
Okay, get ready.
Explosion time, baby.
Where's all the fire? Where's all the boom?
Maybe you shot it wrong?
How could I have shot it wrong? I just aimed at it like I'm doing now and pulled the trigger just like... Yeah! Hey, look at that big spool of wire go!
It's going on a journey.
Right through the laser field traps.
And here it is, folks, the solution to our problem. We must carefully follow and step beside this thing as it rolls along, while also avoiding touching any of the lasers and switching positions and dodging the landmine explosions. It'll take a few times to do it right.
More than a few.
But with perseverance, you'll do it. Reach the end of this stupid trap.
This was a colossal waste of time, an epic burner of patience and goodwill for this game. If you even slightly cared about Tomb Raider up until this point, this drained it dry. You're done. Huskified.
Everything you just saw, by the way, that was in the freaking remaster, people. How did it play on the original PS2?
Are you joking? Lara didn't get instant lasered when she stood up? Pull up the remaster again, playback!
Looks like if you just crawled a bit further, Lara might have made it.
Okay, fine. I'll try it again and crawl a little further. And it's almost poetic if it wasn't so infuriatingly stupid. Yay, she lived.
Earlier Tomb Raider games can be rough, they can be difficult, heck, they can be downright frustrating, but not one of them gets even remotely close to what this game is. It is pure unfun.
And of course, the interactive DVD version of this? Completely absent.
I think the folks who made this version of the game knew better.
These same developers managed to make an interactive DVD game of Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07. We played it, and you best believe us, they somehow actually made it work.
Yet, they saw the laser field of hate, threw up their hands, and said, nope, we're out.
So by now, you're probably thinking to yourself, why did this one Tomb Raider game that took more time to develop than the previous 5 turn out so unquestionably busted?
Well, let's roll back a sec to the year 2000 and the release of Tomb Raider Chronicles. This was Core Design's 5th Tomb Raider game in 5 years, and it ended up performing the worst of all the releases up to that point, selling a fraction of its previous entries.
The team had been burning through Tomb Raider games, but not only were the devs doing that, they were also pushing out expansion packs for a bunch of them as well.
Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, The Last Revelation, and Chronicles all use the same fundamental building blocks. Remember that whole cube thing we talked about? Well, they all used it.
The games all look and play remarkably similar. While innovation was happening a little bit, the rapid release prevented the team from really exploring a new way to make Tomb Raider advance alongside its video game peers.
And then the disappointment of Chronicles and the release of the brand new PlayStation 2 hardware signaled it was time to change. So, with Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness, they gambled big. A bold new vision for Lara Croft.
Remember all the strange dialogue choices, the sneaking mechanics? Well, they were likely heavily inspired by other popular video games. It was all part of the plan to craft a massive, all-new experience, and it probably could have worked if this didn't happen.
Tomb Raider jumped out of video games and into movie theaters with the release of Lara Croft Tomb Raider in 2001, starring a very American Angelina Jolie doing a British accent, alongside a very British Daniel Craig doing an American accent.
Hey, you're the Tomb Raider.
Oh, I think your clients need you.
Movies. They're fun.
This flick was a pretty big success, leading to a sequel called Lara Croft Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life.
And here is the business. The reason we believe Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness ended up the way it did. That sequel film was set to be released in 2003. While core design likely needed more time to finish the game, the leadership over at parent company Eidos Interactive probably didn't care. They seemingly pushed the game out before it was done, just to cash in on the sequel movie's success.
So, while core design was working hard at making the largest Tomb Raider adventure yet, with new systems, graphics, controls, and tons of new features and concepts, the whole thing was cut short. It was tossed out to the public severely undercooked, cementing the game's legacy as a broken, buggy mess.
A tragedy for sure. Speaking of tragedy, back in Angel of Darkness, we find ourselves stumbling across a chain of overly long gameplay set pieces that are neither fun or worth talking about.
But we do accidentally find something deadly swimming in the water. What's this thing trying to do? Gum us to death? I think I feel sorry for it.
With Lara getting further into enemy territory, we see Eckhardt and his goons losing their cool. The ponytailed big bad feeds one of his crew to some sort of weird pod thing.
Like the pod!
As for Lara, we find our way to some kind of capsule glass doorway. It snaps shut.
And look who it is.
You really have made a mess of things, haven't you?
Who for? The stalker who stole my painting?
The soul-patched magical disc flinger appears once again. But this time, he says he's keeping Lara in lockup for a bit.
What? What does that mean? What do we do now?
Oh, we get to play as this guy now.
The fast-acting, cool character with the rad magic abilities and that neat disc weapon? Awesome. How does he control so far?
Well, he feels a lot like Lara. Kinda stiff and troublesome to move around.
How do we use our magic glowy flying disc thinger?
We don't.
We don't?
Yeah, looks like it.
But look, this guy literally has his flying death disc attached to his hip. It's right there.
Oh yes, it is right there. Yet we have no way to use it.
Well, over on the remaster side of things, we do get to use his strange magical flying cutting disc. But unfortunately, it is very slow to engage and use.
Also, he kind of looks like he's riding an invisible horse when he has it drawn while moving.
Pull up the lyrics for Sir Mix-a-Lot's Jump On It.
What's up, Discman?
What's up?
What's up, Discman?
What's up, Discman? Jump on it! Jump on it! Jump on it!
Better off just using his pistol. It's faster and easier. You just need to worry about ammo conservation.
Huh, maybe not? Does this guy buy bullets wholesale? Why do we have an ammunition count well into quadruple digits?
Why even switch up the characters at all? He just plays so bland. All we're really doing here is shooting enemies.
Which are, I think they're supposed to be scary. I mean, they're slow and shambly, but it just means they're super easy to pump full of lead.
And sometimes the enemies don't even know how to shamble properly.
Past the stumbling, bumbling baddies, we make our way to a locked door.
My Farsi ability will help here.
Did he seriously just call his magic ability that lets him see far his Farsi ability? What are we doing here, people? What are we doing?
Can we just have him dance some more?
This man, jump on it! Jump on it! Jump on it!
Who the heck is this guy? How is he all magical and stuff?
I don't know, but his powers would probably be useful dealing with whatever the heck this thing is.
Oh, it's the spiky baboon monster that Lara set loose earlier, which killed a bunch of random people.
I wonder what needs that kind of security to keep it in.
Again, gold star for murder, Croft.
Eventually, we square up with the gnarly beast in an incredible, pulse-pounding boss battle.
We, may have oversold this.
Maybe this fight's better in the remaster with this guy's Wonder Disc thing?
I don't think that is gonna fix whatever's going on here.
Let's just go back to guns.
Put this monstrosity out of its misery already. Now, you folks at home may be curious as to how the interactive DVD treats this whole Magic Man character switch-up section in its version of the game.
Right. Well, when we find it, we'll let you know. Because in multiple playthroughs, we never changed characters in this area on the DVD. Not ever.
Somehow this is proving to be a better game because it barely includes the original game in it. I don't know if that's incredibly funny or incredibly sad.
How about we get back to Lara on console proper?
Glad you came back to save me, stranger.
Name's Kurtis.
Lara. And this is business.
So, Wizard Boy has a name, Kurtis. We learn what's got him mixed up in Lara's adventure through a sizable exposition dump.
Long story short, Eckhardt killed Kurtis's magic monk dad. So, he wants to kill Eckhardt. But Mr. Eckhardt can only be killed if he's stabbed with 3 special blade-like weapons called shards. Lara has one, Kurtis has one, and Eckhardt has one.
Lara and Kurtis decide to split up. Kurtis will get his hands on that 3rd special shard, and Lara will find the last Obscura painting and destroy it to foil Eckhardt's plans.
With all that laid out, we're finally back to controlling Lara. This time, in an aquatic research lab.
We quickly discover that they've introduced automatic machine gun wielding turrets. They're just great.
Oh, they'll get you sometimes. At other times, not so good with the whole aiming thing.
It's not like Lara is aiming any better.
I don't even... What?
Seems the longer we play this thing, the more the threads start to unravel.
Okay, great. Let's move on.
When we leave the lab, we get a cutscene of Lara changing into a wetsuit, which we all know the creators disgustingly included to show off a couple of Lara's notable assets.
The dual pistols, which, again, are never used in this freaking game.
Dressed for the job.
Why do they keep showing them off all the time?
Further down the line, we finally snag the 5th Obscura painting.
Great. Surely Lara will destroy the painting immediately, thwarting the bad guy's evil plans before they have an opportunity to snag it from her.
We both know what's actually going to happen, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm not interested in you or your friend, Miss Croft. Give me the painting. May both leave.
What choice do I have?
Kurtis and Lara are momentarily reunited, only for a huge and gross-looking enemy to be unleashed nearby. Kurtis helps Lara get out of the area, tossing her 2 of those fancy Eckhardt-killing shards we mentioned earlier.
Looks like Kurtis and this big, sharp booger monster are about to duke it out.
This boss fight is pretty frustrating. We spend a lot of time firing at it wildly as it spits up neon projectiles. They don't really seem to hurt us much at all.
Until they randomly do?
It goes from tiny chip damage most of the time to completely draining our health bar out of nowhere. Yeah, that does not seem to be programmed properly.
Neither does our boy Kurtis, whose leg animations get, how can we describe this, pinwheely whenever he gets properly knocked backwards.
But don't think this gets any better in the remaster. Our boy's flying disc attack is more useless than ever. At least he has an ability to cast a mystical force field on himself.
I'm sorry. A force field?
He's magic, don't you know?
As if things weren't weird enough, back in the original version, our character model decides to get locked in a state of perpetual death and rebirth over and over and over again.
With enough shots in the right places, this boss battle is thankfully done.
That wasn't so hard. Give me a break.
There's more? Kurtis.
I think it's dead, buddy.
Guess his mystical force field didn't work there, huh?
He could be okay. Probably just a little tuckered out.
He did.
Yeah.
Back on the DVD version, this battle is actually the one time you'll get to play as Kurtis.
Really? You're joking. Is it sad, like how this whole thing wrapped for the guy on console?
Nah, it's a different kind of sad.
And if you guess the entire battle is whittled down to one small series of button prompts, well...
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
On the bright side, the boss doesn't have a second form here.
Oh great, then Kurtis doesn't get gored by its second form and die.
No, he still dies.
Can we toss the DVD and get back to the main character that matters?
Yeah, totally.
Well, looks like we're dealing with another set of tunnels smattered with death pits. Joy. This time our platforming requires us to pull back a lever and make it to the other side before a gate closes.
Timed platforming? In this game? Even the thought feels like a criminal offense.
If we ain't moving forward, we're heading backward. Let's give it a shot.
Off to a good start.
Okay, definitely gotta jump sooner.
Also, gotta do it faster.
We can get to the halfway point, but Lara refuses to land this second jump.
I mean, we can make it if we crawl at a snail's pace and use every little space at our disposal, but by the time we get to the other side, the gate's always snapped shut.
So, what do we do?
I don't know. There's gotta be something we're missing here, man.
Let's try doubling back.
You're kidding me. There's a second pathway here? How the heck did we miss that the first time we came down this hallway?
I don't know. All the garish brown textures kind of blend together and hide the path from view.
And what's even over here?
My legs feel stronger.
No! No!
I found the key!
This tiny upgrade jump was here the whole time! Now Lara can jump further? Why wouldn't Lara tell us we needed an upgrade while we were in the other room? She could have informed us that we were underpowered.
Right? This upgrade system actively worsens the gameplay experience of an already trash game, especially if you're completely unaware that you need a freaking upgrade to move forward. How are you supposed to know?
You could be stuck trying to accomplish something for hours. Something entirely futile. All because of how poorly some of these upgrade moments are telegraphed. I hate this entire system.
My legs feel stronger. Maybe I'll make that jump.
Salt on the wound, Lara! The time to tell us we need an upgrade isn't after we already got the dang blasted upgrade. How can a video game be this dense?
I have no idea, and I want out. We gotta be rounding the bend on this whole thing, man. Where's Eckhardt?
About a dozen stupid Lara deaths away.
Eckhardt seems to be powering up some theater-sized machine to awaken the Nephilim creature we've been hearing about.
And Lara's not gonna let that happen. She interrupts the proceedings and reveals one of the fancy shards capable of ending Eckhardt's immortality.
It is my destiny to breathe hell on earth. You are nothing to me.
Do you know, it's gonna be a real pleasure to shut you up.
Our battle with Eckhardt finally begins, and we're off to a bumpy start. It doesn't seem like we can damage this guy at all. Eckhardt spreads waves of hurdy magic through the shield walls of this encased area. Seems like a toughie.
At least for a wave of magic or two, because it doesn't take long for us to figure out that Lara can crawl below most of what Eckhardt throws her way.
Turns out the guy who thinks himself an all-powerful super being doesn't understand the concept of aiming downwards a little. Oh well, great for us.
After he gets hucking magic out of his system, Eckhardt seems to split into several different beings, only to gather in the middle of the area.
Hold on a second. Freeze! Look at Eckhardt's chest. Are those two of the power shard thingies we're supposed to stab him with? They're just jutting out of his character model. Is Eckhardt, like, pre-stabbed?
Oh no.
This is weird, because when we get Lara close to Eckhardt later to try and take him out, we get a short cutscene where
those pre-stab shards are now totally gone? What's even happening here?
Okay, so we all saw that, right? Eckhardt's character model should have just one shard handle sticking out of his chest now, right?
Oh, look, still has 2 shards jutting out of his tum-tum.
We keep crawling around until we're able to make Eckhardt's phantom second chest stab into a reality.
Now that Ecky's model is properly showcasing his piercings, we just need to bide our time and crawl around like a worm until
we can stab him a 3rd time.
But wait! Just as Lara is about to deal the final blow, one of Eckhardt's lackeys enters the scene.
Corel?
Go on, kill her.
But turns out we're not the only ones sick of Eckhart's bullcrap, because fake Neil Patrick Harris finishes our job for us.
Unfortunately, our celebrations cut short.
The great work will be finished. I'm offering you the chance to become part of a benign new order in the world.
You are kidding, right?
This new fella wants to wake the Nephilim creature as well. He was just using Eckhardt to his advantage. Not only that, but apparently, he is in fact a Nephilim. He's been shape-shifting all along, helping Lara throughout her journey as different characters in the game.
That guy is a Nephilim? Why is he trying to resurrect a race that seemingly doesn't need resurrecting? Buddy, you're right here! You exist! The quest is over!
He just proved that he could shapeshift into any human form he wants at will. In theory, couldn't he just transform himself into a very, very good-looking human, woo some folks, and make Nephilim babies?
Remember, folks, Nephilim are angel and human hybrids, so this logic checks out.
I mean, this was Eckhardt's plan. He was gonna make one to make more. This whole surprise Nephilim twist is more dumb than the plot that came before it. And that was already really dumb.
Would it surprise you if I told you this revelation culminates in another boss fight?
Not in the slightest.
Here it is, a Nephilim being, the ultimate life form, unstoppable power, and it just circles us, shooting projectiles that miss all the time.
All right, humored him. Can we end this?
It takes a bit of figuring out, but eventually we climb to the top of the room and say goodbye to the big bad sleeping Nephilim creature.
The 2 evil beings blasted to who even cares? Lara returns to find Kurtis's circular blade weapon waiting for her in the middle of the room. She picks it up and it shakes to life, pointing her towards an exit.
Does this mean Kurtis is still alive? Does this mean Lara now has the magic ability to wield this thing?
The game isn't interested in answering those questions. Instead, it has more important things to do, like taunt us with one last image of Lara dual-wielding her iconic pistols.
Rub it in. Thanks, guys. Thanks for nothing.
Hey, that reminds me, did we ever find the dual pistols in the remaster? You know, like they promised?
No, we did not find them. I'm sure they are there somewhere, but who even cares anymore? It is way too late. We're not gonna replay this just to find them. Who would inflict themselves with that kind of pain on purpose? If they were so important, they should have been easier to find.
Angel of Darkness is a special game, a standout release in our endless look at the worst titles in gaming history. Few times have we played a game attached to an established franchise that has been this overwhelmingly flawed.
We're not just talking about one game here. From the original to the remaster to the bizarre interactive DVD, every version of the Angel of Darkness has immense problems.
It may have surprised you to see just how bad the remaster was, but with the epic wall of problems we all saw in the original, I think we can all agree it was practically impossible to fix.
Aspyr released this in a collection of 3 games. They had to remaster The Last Revelation and Chronicles and fix Angel of Darkness. Every other remaster this team made, which includes all the previous Tomb Raider entries and their expansion packs, they were pretty good.
Look at the massive visual overhaul they pulled off. These are huge upgrades with modified controls, better frame rates, and additional features that, in our opinion, now make these the definitive way to play these classic titles. But Angel of Darkness, that was a challenge even they could not possibly take on.
Protivnik spozorovan.
But we did it. We're finally at the end. An end that also marked Core Design's last entry for Lara Croft. the series was ripped away from the original creators and given to other developers who rebooted the character and story.
This final outing, in our opinion, marks the biggest blemish in the franchise. And now, you all understand, as well as us, that Angel of Darkness is the furthest thing from heavenly.
That's right. It's more akin to a storied place of eternal fire, misery, and unending pain.
Go warn all would-be explorers seeking adventures with Lara Croft. Let it be etched in stone, emblazoned in hieroglyphs, scribbled into the history books. Tomb Raider, the Angel of Darkness.
It's just bad.
Suspect apprehended.